everyone, welcome to English Path. My name is Nushin and today's lesson is about inversion. I promised you in this video, which is all about inverted conditional sentences, that I would teach you all the other cases of inversion in a separate video, so here it comes. First of all, I would like to remind you of what inversion is. Inversion is a style in which we change the natural order of the words in a sentence. It can be a bit tricky to master, but when done right, it can elevate your writing, it can transform it, and you can earn better scores, you can produce better articles and essays. And it is used in English grammar to describe a situation where a word or phrase is used at the beginning of a sentence rather than in its usual position at the end. Let's see what it all means. The most common type of inversion you are all familiar with is the question word order. In questions, we usually invert the subject and the verb with an auxiliary or modal verb before the subject. Like, this is the subject and this is the auxiliary. We invert them, we change their places. For example, here's a normal statement. It's Wednesday today. It is the subject and it is used before the verb is. But when I want to ask a question, I say, is it Wednesday? So I inverted the verb and the subject. The verb is used before the subject it. They have changed places, which is called inversion. Now let's see what other cases of inversion are. A negative adverb or a negative adverb phrase that is used in the beginning of a sentence. This inversion is used to add emphasis or create rhetorical effect. It means you make it more formal and you make it more effective. Like, the normal statement is, I have never seen Mr. Richards so angry. Subject I is used before the verb have. When you invert it, you have a sentence like this. Never have I seen Mr. Richards so angry. I inverted the verb and the subject. It is used before the verb. Another example. I had hardly slept for an hour when my alarm went off at 4 a.m. Hardly is a negative adverb. It means almost none, almost not. So when I use it at the beginning of my sentence will be inverted. Like, hardly had I slept for an hour when my alarm went off at 4 a.m. I had hardly slept, hardly had I slept. So I inverted the verb and the subject. Another example. You can't publish the company's confidential documents under any circumstances. Under any circumstances. It's a negative adverb phrase. By the way, to learn more about adverbs and adverbial phrases, you can watch these two videos that are going to be shown in the top right-hand corner of your screens. The inverted version is, under no circumstances can you share the company's confidential documents. I inverted it, and instead of any, I use no. Because in every negative sentence, you can only have one negative word. Here, I had a negative verb, can't. Therefore, I used any. But in the inverted version, I used under no circumstances, which already makes the sentence negative. So the verb has to be positive. Can you share? Another case of inversion is in sentences that start with expressions beginning with not. This kind of inversion is used to emphasize the negation or contrast of the statement. For example, the normal statement is, I didn't know how easy the test would be until I took it. I want to emphasize the negation. So by inverting it, I have a sentence like this. Not until I took the test did I know how easy it would be. The normal statement is, I didn't know. It's a negative sentence. I want to start my inverted sentence with a negative word, so I extract not and use it in the beginning. So not until I took the test, so the verb changes into a positive one. Because one more time, I'm reminding you of the fact that every negative sentence has only one negative word. So the verb changes into I knew, but we have to invert it because it starts with a negative element, with a negative expression, or an expression starting with not. So by inverting it, I will extract my auxiliary did out of my verb know, and I will use it before the subject did I know. Two more examples. The normal statement is she won the race and broke the record. The inverted version is not only did she win the race, but she also broke the record. So I am emphasizing that both of these things happened. A case similar to this is when you start your sentence with neither. For example, neither did she lose, nor did she give up. I explained these two plus many more in this video. I highly recommend you watch it because it's really, really useful. Normal statement. He had arrived no sooner than he had to leave. What it means is that he arrived exactly when he had to leave. The inverted version is no sooner had he arrived than he had to leave. The verb is he had arrived. We start our sentence with a negative word, with no sooner. So I invert the verb and the subject had he arrived. Just like sentences beginning with not only, sentences beginning with only also have to be inverted. This kind of inversion is used to emphasize the contrast or exception of a statement. For example, you can achieve your goals by working hard. So only by working hard can you achieve your goals, right? It is inverted. Can you achieve your goals? Two more examples. She realized how heartbreaking the situation was when he admitted everything. Inverted, you have a sentence like this. Only when he admitted everything did she realize how heartbreaking the situation was. I inverted the verb. Did she realize? They allowed him to go out to play after he had finished his homework. So it shows an exception. So pay attention that only after he had finished his homework is starting our sentence. So we don't touch that. We don't invert that part. We invert the rest of the sentence. Did they allow him to go out to play? So don't let this trick you. You can't say only after had he finished his homework. No, that'll be a mistake. Another case of inversion is when a sentence begins with here or there, used as adverbs of place. This type of inversion is used to emphasize the location or arrival of somebody or something. For example, the bride is coming in. Here comes the bride. The last train is leaving. We'll have to take a taxi. There goes the last train. We will have to take a taxi. After I die, they will say, the body of Nushin lies here, inside my grave. She was an English teacher. The inverted version is, here lies the body of Nushin. She was an English teacher. Or if you want to use an adjective clause that I explained in this video, you can say, here lies the body of Nushin, who was an English teacher and had a channel that she politely asks you to subscribe to. Inversion is also used in affirmative or negative agreements. I have a lesson on that and I will link it in the description along with all the other videos I mentioned before. So the normal statement is, they say they can't change their plans and I can't either. They say they can't change their plans and neither can I. So because of neither, I inverted the verb and the subject. I want to buy a car and my brother does too. I want to buy a car and so does my brother. The auxiliary and the subject, my brother, are inverted. I had never been so devastated and my family hadn't either. The inverted version is, I had never been so devastated and neither had my family. Had and the subject have been inverted. Sentences beginning with prepositional phrases are also inverted. This type of inversion is used to emphasize the location or situation of someone or something, like an antique dresser sat in the corner of the room. In the corner of the room, which is our prepositional phrase beginning the sentence, sat an antique dresser. An old castle stood on the top of the hill. On the top of the hill stood an old castle. Sleeping Beauty was lying on a bed of roses. On a bed of roses was lying Sleeping Beauty. Sentences beginning with so adjective that. This type of inversion is used to emphasize the degree or result of someone or something. Remember that in the beginning of the video, I told you that inversion is mostly used in writing and in formal situations to elevate your style. So you may not hear these in normal everyday conversations. It was so hot that we decided to go to the beach. So hot was the day that we decided to go to the beach. She was so heartbroken that she cried all along. So heartbroken was she that she cried all along. They were so cruel that they ruined the couple's life. So cruel were they that they ruined the couple's life. And finally, inverted conditional sentences that I fully explained in a separate lesson that is linked in the description, and I also mentioned in the beginning of this video. This type of inversion is used to make the conditional sentence more formal or emphatic. Should you change your mind, just let me know. Were I to see him again, I wouldn't let him go. Had she not said goodbye, they would have been still together. I'm not explaining how to do this because I did in that video. You can click the description box of this video, find the link, click it, and watch that video to learn everything about inverted conditional sentences. And that's it for today, guys. I hope you found this video useful and that it helped you learn something new. If it did, please don't forget to hit the like button and also support me by subscribing to my channel so that I can get to produce more lessons for you, and leave me comments on any questions you have about English. And if you would like to use inverted sentences and don't know whether they're correct or not, just comment them and I will correct them for you if they're not correct. Take care, guys. See ya.